Hi, my name is Kevin, and I am diagnosed with hereditary angioedema, otherwise known as HAE. I was diagnosed with HAE roughly, I want to say in my early 20s. It has been quite the adventure learning how to manage it and live with it. My mother was diagnosed with it back in, I want to say 2014. When she would get flare-ups and symptoms, it was typically her face or her hands, so it was very apparent when she would have an attack. For myself though, it's usually only my stomach that is affected. And when I would go to the doctors or the emergency room, it was typically undiagnosed. It was very difficult for them to pinpoint what I had. My fiance and I got engaged recently, and we are looking to have our ceremony in the near future. Sharing HAE with my fiance and her family was a bit intimidating. When I first met my significant other's family was on Christmas Eve when I flew in to visit, and they had this big dinner planned and set up. I had an immediate attack. There's a lot of unknowns, not only to how they'll react, but for them to really understand what it's like living with someone that has the disease. But I'm thankful that my fiance and her family were very understanding and very just accommodating overall. One of the biggest challenges of having HAE is there are times where I may have to cancel plans last minute. I can't control when and where I get my attacks. At times it feels like an invisible disease where it's like, oh my gosh, I miss the days where I was just living a regular life. I take two medications specifically for my HAE. One is a preventative and one is a rescue medication. They are both injection-based. It's not just about, injecting the medication as fast as possible because I want to do it safely. And then after the medication, I have to de-stress for a little bit. While they say that you can inject the medication within a minute or a few minutes, it's something that I find personally that I take my time with because it is a bit of a mental obstacle. When it comes to dealing with my rescue medication, oftentimes I dislike bringing it because it's difficult to have a refrigerated area for a medication at all times. While I was glad to have been diagnosed, it was also a bit frustrating finding something that was effective for myself. There is still a bit of experimenting and trial and error to this day when it comes to medication and finding what works for me. The rescue medication that I am currently on, I don't feel is very effective, and it's very frustrating as a patient having to deal with multiple injections just to see some type of reduction in swelling and results that I want to see. I'm bracing myself mentally that I'm going to have to live with this for the next 8 to 12 hours to see any types of feeling of relief. And it's very frustrating as a patient that's living with it to have to constantly prick myself with needles or inject myself with needles to feel any sense of relief. I hope that there is more medication that is available for patients or people living with a disease such as myself. I would love for us to have more agency when it comes to choosing medications.